Do you find that in your relationships that the ADHD symptoms you have was really having a negative impact? Well, you're not alone. It's very common for people with ADHD to struggle in relationships on topics including trust, responsibilities, communication, intimacy. I'm Natalie Baker. I'm a licensed psychotherapist and advanced neurofeedback trainer. And in this video, I'm going to talk about some strategies if you're the partner with ADHD that you can use to strengthen the relationship you have. And if you're starting a new relationship, the things to avoid and the practices to engage in so that your ADHD doesn't derail your relationship. So one of the first things that I come across in working with couples in psychotherapy where one partner has ADHD is that trust between the couple is easily ruptured because of the struggles with ADHD. So one of the things that happens is that we have high hopes for ourselves and we say yes to getting something done or making a commitment, and then we don't follow through. And what happens is our partners start to assume over time that we don't care about them. In order to have good trust, we have to first establish that we're going to have clear communication about who's doing what, and that we're also going to be honest about what our limitations are. So if our ADHD is that things pile up and we cannot get to them, we don't want to say to pacify our partner, oh, sure, honey, I'll get that done tomorrow, because we won't. That pile is going to stay there. So we have to have realistic expectations about what we can commit to, because that is part of the trusting bond we have with our partner, is that what we say is what we do. And if we can't, then we acknowledge that. And so then the next part is that we bring in supports as we need them. So to really have an honest inventory of where our strengths and weaknesses are, and to not feel badly about trying to get supports to follow through on the things that are in our basket of responsibilities. And that might be asking a friend, it might be asking our partner, but to be very specific with what the need is so they can say yes or no, and so that we don't have to continuously run up against our ADHD obstacles. So another thing that's sort of implicit in all of this is clear communication. So if we have ADHD, we want to make that clear to our partner what that means. So what that means in terms of the things we find easy to do and also what we struggle with. And education, so to send short videos or articles so they understand that this is about the condition, this is not about you per se and how you feel about the relationship. Another thing is to take responsibility. So when we have ADHD, we have more responsibility than other people, not less. And one of the things that I see in couples is that there's a bad feeling in the person who has ADHD. They want to shy away from it and not acknowledge it as a condition for them. And so overcoming our shame, if we have any, or embarrassment, it's nothing to be embarrassed or ashamed about. But it does mean that we struggle in ways that other people don't. And so to clearly take responsibility for what we struggle with, knowing, yeah, I have a bigger burden than you do because folding that laundry and putting it away is much more difficult for me, or getting to those appointments on time or even scheduling those appointments, much more difficult for me. But that is my responsibility, and I'm going to try my best to do it, and if I can, I'm going to bring in supports. So the other person feels like they're in partnership when we can take responsibility for both what our limitations are and also what we have said we're going to do. And that also helps with building trust and maintaining trust in the relationship. And if there are things that they can help us with, then to say that explicitly is very important and very helpful. And so if you find that you are flooded and overwhelmed, or that your fights are really circling around your own struggles with ADHD, if you've tried to have clear communications and to follow a schedule and be organized and you're just struggling with that, then the next thing I recommend is adding neurofeedback to your healthcare regimen, and it's so helpful if you also have your partner do it with you. So neurofeedback is a brain training technology. It's non-invasive, and it's allowing your brain to receive precise feedback about what it's doing that's maladaptive. And we know with ADHD that brain is got the limbic brain, the impulsive brain functioning way more than the prefrontal cortex, which is our thoughtful brain. It's our brakes on the impulsivity. It's our pause before we act out our emotions. And what I see over and over again when couples do it together is that their nervous systems re-regulate into calm, an ability to focus, an ability to be joyful, to connect, make eye contact, to communicate from a responsive place rather than a reactive place. And often this is exactly the support that both brains need in order to follow through on what they both want, which is they want to be connected, they want to care for each other, they want to find emotional resourcing between them. But when we have brains that are stuck in autopilot bad habits, that can be very difficult to accomplish without some extra support. So please keep working away. You can improve your relationships, both with yourself and with others, despite our ADHD challenges. Please subscribe. We're always adding new videos to help educate and inspire you on your journey.